Today seeking another All-Ireland medal to go with the ones he won in 87 and 88. Jim Cashman with a good clearance down towards Mark Foley. Lobbed into John Fitzgibbon. Having to come out to contain that ball. This is Tomás Mulcahy, 45 metres out, providing Cork's first point of the second half. So in front of 63,900, a match to remember so far. Pete Finnerty up towards Noel Lane, isolated. Dennis Walsh had to be decisive. It breaks down to Martin Knockton. A goal chance for Galway now. Oh yes, it's gone wide. It's gone off the goalkeeper, who's made a brilliant save. Martin Knockton had a glorious chance.
I suppose one that people would ask me about or talk to me about would probably be the save in 1990, where it probably wasn't even a save. It just got in the way more so than anything else. You know, that it wouldn't have been a kind of full-length diving save, or you know, you feel that's not a good save. It was more kind of an anticipation and just be brave and stand in front of Mark Knockton as he came through. That would probably be one that people would remember because of the fact of as it turned out, when Cork won the 1990 and went on to be part of the double scene, it turned out to be an important save, I think, in the course of the game.
Ollie Kilkenny. This is Mark Foley, sending in a high one, and he's put it over the bar. A point by Mark Foley, his first of the match. The tall Timor League man, 6'5" tall, and today playing in what is just his 6th championship match. The game is there to be won and lost now inside the last 50 minutes. Joe Cooney inside towards Noel Lane, blocked down by Jim Cashman. Cashman went back really well, showed great commitment. Out to Tomás Mulcahy, Cork's goal scorer in the second half. Towards Kevin Hennessy, who got their goal in the first. Rounding Sean Tracy with some ease. Into Mark Foley. Oh, it's a goal! Cork go back in front. They lost the lead in the 20th minute of the first half. They've regained it in the 21st minute of the second half. Kevin Hennessy set up Foley, and he finished with great assurance.
What I remember about that final was going for a walk the morning of the match with John Fitzgibbon and Tomás Mulcahy, and we were slagging each other about different things. And I said to Fitzy, if you score a goal today, what are you going to do? And he said, I'm going to celebrate like Ringy. And he imitated Ringy around the road in Dublin. And he said, if I score today, that's what I'm going to do.
Jim Cashman, back it goes to Cathal Casey. Ger Fitzgerald against Jerry McInerney. They've had a great duel. Great run. The layback to Mark Foley, scorer of that goal, which brought Cork right back into it. Missed. John Fitzgibbon. It's a goal! A goal by John Fitzgibbon. And Cork have punished some of the lapses that have come their way. Watch this. The defence was caught in a dither, and there was a solid finish. Beautiful hand pass inside by Tomás Mulcahy to Kevin Hennessy. The referee allows an advantage. Hennessy still going through. Inside towards John Fitzgibbon, a goal scorer just a moment ago. There's another one! 2 goals by John Fitzgibbon in the place of a minute and a half. The Cork fans can barely believe it. Cork lead by 6 points, 2 clear goals. The hero of the hour, John Fitzgibbon. Joe Cooney takes this free. Joe content to see that one come off the top of the crossbar and over the bar. A point for him in the second half, but it's been a disappointing half really. 1-7 his tally in all. But is he to finish on the losing side? There's still time for Galway if they're good enough. Just a few seconds to go. The referee has a check on the watch. He's called time. Cork are the All-Ireland champions. A delighted Mark Foley, a delighted Tomás Mulcahy. The McCarthy Cup is on its way back to Leeside once again. The first part of a possible double has been achieved.
I went into the dressing room with Cyril Farrell for half an hour. I knew how he felt, but yet I didn't want to talk to anybody else at that particular time. and you know, it was going in and telling the truth about it. We were very lucky. Luck went our way.
At half time they were very strong, in a very strong position, but Tomás Mulcahy turned that game, I felt, with a tremendous run and got a goal at the end of it, as he had done so many times for us around that period, and we went on to win that game.
It's a very proud moment indeed for Tomás Mulcahy, captain of Cork. The cup goes back to Lee's side for the first time in 4 years. Galway has yet to beat Cork in a final.
Uachtarán a Hearden, Uachtarán Cumanlas, Lucas Goyle, Tán an Arson, an Cornshaw a Glacka, a son Fern Cúte Corkay. One particular ball that I got it, I had solo through, maybe from 30 yards out, and I actually hit the side netting with the ball. The ball actually went wide, and as I was coming out, I got a little bump from Tony Keady, and he said to me, Tomás, you thought it was 1986 all over again, and I suppose about 10 minutes later, when I did rattle the net with that goal, I had the last word. As I passed him by, I said, Tony, yes, you're right, it was 1986 all over again.
The hurlers were always going first and we were coming behind them, and I suppose one helped the other as we went along, and we nipped along to an All-Ireland final, and the hurlers won, of course. You know, a lot of people said like that maybe it would have put great pressure on us in the football, but I'd say it would have helped us, because we certainly didn't want to be the team that let down Cork going for a historic double.
To produce the 2 cups on Lee's side, and the sing-song and Kid Cronin singing the banks, who was a fantastic character and a huge factor in the good humour of both teams. I mean, I can't state enough how much he meant to both teams, and his loss was huge.
At the time when I did win it in 90, I thought I'd win another double in 91, but obviously Kilkenny and Kerry put paid to those. But it's a great achievement. I didn't actually realise it at the time. You know, obviously you'll be playing, you'll be concentrating and playing. It's only that when I see players now presently that are trying to play and amalgamate the two of them in playing wise, I see how difficult it is.
I came from all over, and I remember the Bishop saying that night like that, you know, people like that were from Cork, or they would wish to be from Cork tonight because of what happened. And you know, it was something that I suppose it was very, very hard to, you know, put your head around and say at the time like that. You know, it was so exciting, and you know, it was just so great for the Cork people. It was tremendous, you know.
To win an All-Ireland at that stage, all you had to do was win 4 games, and like, it's a very different story at the present time. And if I can remember at the time, there was always at least 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks between a hurling championship and football championship. Whereas now, if you lose in the first round of Munster Championship, you're probably playing the following weekend, and it's hard to recuperate.
The All-Ireland champions of 1990 welcomed the champions of '89 to Páirc Uí Chaoimh in 1991.
Shot by O'Sullivan, well in there. Hennessy's inside the goal. It's a goal by Kevin Hennessy. He's never scored in a Munster hurling final. He's a goal, I mean. He scored points, but never a goal.
And this is a testing ball for the Tip full back line. And to be fair, this is the area that gave Tipperary so many problems in last year's Munster final, and they've got to sort this out today. It's a high dropping ball coming in from Kevin Hennessy, and an excellent flick by Kevin to the back of the net.
Meanwhile, Bobby Ryan whipping it out only as far as Tony O'Sullivan, trying to go around Declan Carr. Up towards Kevin Hennessy again. John Fitzgibbon now. Stopped by Paul Delaney, looking for support, getting it from Mark Foley. Closed down quickly, but he's found a gap inside. Fitzgibbon trying to go forward. It's still Fitzgibbon, and outside there's Ger Fitzgerald. There's another goal! The champions with 2 goals in the space of 3 minutes.
Great play here again by John Fitzgibbon. Gets the ball back to Mark Foley under pressure. Foley juggles around with it a small bit. He's surrounded by Tipperary players. Elects the hand pass back inside to Fitzgibbon, who controls it well in the hurley again. Into his hand. Spots the loose man outside him, Ger Fitzgerald. And Ger stops an unstoppable shot to the right hand corner of the net. Fantastic goal by Cork again.
Conal Bonner, who burst on the scene in 1989. It was a great year for Tipperary, who won back the All-Ireland crown that season. Sean O'Gorman played so well in last year's All-Ireland final. Up to Cathal Casey, has discarded the helmet. Really good-looking ball, high and over the bar. He was 65 metres out from his own goal when he hit that one. A huge point. Tony O'Sullivan, smartly driven in towards Kevin Hennessy against Conor O'Donovan. Again, Tip looking at 6s and 7s, and Ken Hogan having to come out. Tomás Mulcahy trying to go the Mo Deireadh towards goal. Inside nicely, and it's another one for Ger Fitzgerald.
The Tipperary under pressure every time the ball comes in, as I said earlier. Cork look like any goal, and it's unbelievable. Tomás Mulcahy is working tremendously hard at right half forward. Wins a good ball here, rounds his man fairly easily, and has time to pick out Ger Fitzgerald, who's standing on his own inside there. And that's very poor defending by Tipperary, really. Ken Hogan is isolated, and Ger Fitzgerald has no trouble banging that to the back of the net. Certainly, Ger, the problems from Tipperary's point of view is that Cork seems to be able to create more openings in front of goal and take their chances easier than Tipperary. Tipperary finding scores very hard to come by.
Dropped in invitingly. Noel Sheehy getting the early to that one. Battling away. John Fitzgibbon firing it into goal! A goal for John Fitzgibbon!
It's a tremendous goal for Fitzgibbon. He certainly is the man of the moment where goals are concerned. Again, when the ball breaks, he's always the fastest player to react, and that's a tremendous ground shot, giving Ken Hogan no chance at his near post.
Tomás Mulcahy raiding, and finally in the end it's Michael Ryan, the substitute. Up towards Cormac Bonner. It runs on for Fox, and there's a goal chance here for Tipperary. A crucial one at that. 10 minutes to go, and Pat Fox has worked the oracle, as he's done so often in the past.
Cormac Bonner goes for Richard Drumm, but the first player to spot it is Pat Fox. Tremendous corner forward play here, racing inside the defence, advances on Ger Cunningham and doesn't make any mistake from that. Tremendous shot and gave Cunningham no chance from that distance.
Well, they won here on their last Munster final visit against Waterford in '86. Can they do it again? It's Michael Cleary dancing through the Cork defence. The referee says play on. Cleary, I think, felt he might have won himself a free. At the end, it's gone wide. Under 2 minutes to go. The puck out's been taken very quickly as Michael Cleary picks himself off the ground. That was quick thinking by Ger Cunningham. Out as far as Tony O'Sullivan. So who's going to win it? If there's to be a winner today, Kevin Hennessy. Striking it from his right-hand side, and he's put it over the bar. A goal and 2 points for Hennessy. Just over a minute to go now. The Cork fans in jubilant form up at the Blackrock end of Páirc Uí Chaoimh. But now it's a chance for Tipperary to apply some pressure on the Cork defence, and it's Nicky English going forward. He's lost the hurley, kicking it, and he has put it wide. Nicky English going in there to appeal, having lost the hurley, Jimmy.
Again, Nicky scored a goal in this situation before. His boots it high. It's difficult to say, but it might have gone over the bar from here.
Nicky is absolutely
insane. It certainly looked like it went inside the post from here, but it's very difficult to say. I'd like to see it again.
He did hurley lost, and we were all shouting for the ball because I think there was a few was free. But he veered on towards the goals, and he had no choice. He was kind of left with a one-on-one with the ball, and he had to either foul it or get rid of it. So he kicked it, and it was very obvious that it was well inside the post.
Here you see English racing onto it. He has lost his hurley.
I think it was over the bar.
And here they go. Nicky just about to kick it now. Let's fly. Just slow it down. It looks like there it's gone over the bar all right.
Ger Cunningham, his side continuing to lead by a point, when in fairness Tipperary at least deserved a draw. O'Sullivan stopped here brilliantly by Michael Ryan. Again the pressure is applied by Kevin Hennessy. John Madden coming in. Only 5 seconds of normal time remaining on my watch as we watch Noel Sheehy go way up the field from his full-back position. Outside here to John Lahey. Can they draw on level terms? Will they even win it? Lahey stopped, however, by Considine. It runs loose, and there are players advancing on Ger Cunningham's goal. One of them is Lahey. Cunningham coming out. Still a pile-up in front there as we watch Pat Fox try to take possession. And he's put it over the bar, and it's no more than they deserve. Pat Fox.
That's an unbelievable score. Looking at Noel Sheehy, I think he might have caught a Kevin Foley yesterday coming up the field and having a go himself. But he just released the ball at the right time, and Pat Fox and Cork took a fantastic point under pressure.
The replay in Perlis was to bring the goal tally in the two games to 14.
Against Noel Sheehy, trying to get onto that one. Tomas Mulcahy coming in as well. Ger Fitzgerald likewise. Bobby Ryan trying to mind the house and keep the ball away from the danger area. John Madden now crossing his own 45-metre line. Kevin Hennessy trying to come in and hoop the player. It reaches Cormac Bonner. He's getting a lot of possession, really causing danger, and eventually it's Dennis Walsh brilliantly away. That was all timing and a wrist action from Dennis Walsh, but it comes out as far as John Lahey, and he's put it over the bar. There's an awful lot of pressure coming in from the Tipperary forward line. Conal Bonner, Kevin Hennessy trying to edge that one forward to Tomas Mulcahy. Bobby Ryan getting in his way. It's on towards Mark Foley again. John Fitzgibbon hitting it, and it's trickling in. Cork take the lead through the goal-scoring skills of John Fitzgibbon. Not all that brilliantly hit, but it deceived Ken Hogan.
Well, it's a scrappy kind of a goal, but John Fitzgibbon just turns onto his right hand. Doesn't hit it that cleanly, but I think Ken Hogan should have cleared it, and it just dribbles inside the near post.
Pat Fox, a match winner so often in the past for Tipperary, sees that one come back to Pat Hartnett of Cork. Cork have certainly seized the initiative. Paul Delaney, driven out towards Declan Ryan. Brendan O'Sullivan, that's Stoney O'Connell, driving it down to Cormac Bonner, having the better of his duel with Richard Brown. Inside, the should be, and it is a goal for Michael Cleary. Tipperary goal has come 3 minutes after John Fitzgibbon's goal for Cork.
It looks a bit easier than what it actually was. Colin Bonner races inside the defence, gathers the ball well, knocks it across the unmarked Michael Cleary. And this is not easy, because in this situation it's very easy to knock the ball out of your hand. But in fairness to Cleary, he holds his head and bangs into the back of the net.
Early stages in the second half. Tomas Mulcahy having just got his first score. Down towards Tony O'Sullivan, who's playing anywhere. Again, it's John Fitzgibbon raiding. O'Sullivan moving inside, perhaps to take a pass, but Fitzgibbon going it alone. Tremendous run in toward Kevin Hennessy. Space at a premium, looking for some room to turn, and he's got a goal! A delighted Kevin Hennessy.
There's great play here in the half-hour line by Tony O'Sullivan, who gets the ball into John Fitzgibbon. And again, Fitzgibbon taking on the Tipperary defence, knocks it inside to Kevin Hennessy, who gathers it very well under pressure from the Tip defenders. He can't get up, he doesn't seem to have any room here. He's turning back out again into the forward line, and just gets through the swing as Hurley and hits it, stop the shot past Ken Hogan.
Lahey being a bit more influential since that switch into the middle with Joe Hayes. Ger Cunningham coming out, and it's a goal! It's a goal! And it's Pat Fox who scored it! The fans are invading Semple Stadium. There's a lot of the match to go. A potentially dangerous situation with everybody coming in en masse.
Well, as you see here, Ger, ball breaking inside the Cork defence, and Pat Fox didn't seem to be ahead of the Cork backs there. Just got with one-handed flick, tennis style, to the back of the net. Fantastic goal by Fox, and just the inspiration the Tip might need. The crowd really getting behind him now.
Touchdown's a goal! It's the equaliser! It's a goal! Declan Carver will be the one who touched it last. It was a sensational score. The captain.
A high dropping ball to the square, and as you can see here, backs and forwards. I think this Declan Carr gets an overhead flick right into the back of the net. Fantastic score by Carr.
Hartnett breaking it down. Declan Ryan onto it. A much improved Declan Ryan in the second half, and it's Aidan Ryan now raiding into the gap, and he's put Tipperary in front. They led at the start of the Scots, they were pegged back, and the substitute now, Aidan Ryan, getting a score.
You know, they were the most sickening defeats I've been involved in. Say, okay, you lost to Kilkenny in 82, but you weren't at the races that day. But to be so close in 91 was very disappointing. I suppose they got us back for 90.
It's fair to say that the games that they have played in that period were up to the great standards of the past. There were epic games, epic performances by both teams, and we were satisfied that we came out on top fairly often in that particular period.
You know, the boys knuckled down and they plugged along again like they did the day before, and they got a few handy scores, and I think I was lucky enough to get a goal myself, which brought us kind of back went into it, and Aidan Ryan and Declan Kerr got goals afterwards. I mean, with a bit of luck, we got it. We had more luck that day than the previous day, so we were lucky to get the victory that day.
If you put up your hand that time, and you'll be counting the fingers when you bring it down. You know, really, you know, well, if the ball is there, you're entitled to pull it, the fixing ball. You know, it isn't like the, you know, excuse me, I was here first, or you may have the ball, this kind of a crack, you know. Jesus, Mary. But as I told you before, I broke fingers, I often got 8 or 9 stitches after a match. My jersey would be red. I never lay down, never left the field in my life. You know, we can't understand this bird cage. That's what I call it, a fucking bird cage. And then they have a plaster across the nose, right? What's this for? To keep the nostrils open or what? But then the gloves bases all, the first I see wearing one of them was DJ Carey. Well, we can't understand now. I see match with Kilkenny up there. Who would they play? And DJ ran in 50 yards nearly from the middle of the field with the ball the whole way and tapped it into the net. And then, Jesus, so that's not, you know what I mean? You won't do it in rugby, will you? You hardly do it in soccer. That's harder. I'll tell you, the goalie in soccer to be often bowled over, don't it?
All-Ireland champions Tipperary and Cork met at the semi-final stage in 1992.
When you consider the vast scores they were putting up last year, and just it was 6 points so far. Now you can make it 7 as Cork cuts the deficit to just a point.
This is ball breaking loose here. Teddy McCarthy knocks it in. John Fitzgibbon, that'll give him a lot of confidence because Paul Delaney hasn't been giving him a tough time of it. He hasn't got nothing off him so far.
But Teddy McCarthy with a second super catch, trying to penetrate inside towards John Fitzgibbon, and John Fitzgibbon in there, and it's Paul Delaney who commits the indiscretion. It's going to be a free in from the 20-metre line, debated and argued by Paul Delaney, supported by Noel Sheehy and Bobby Ryan.
Quite honestly, I didn't think it was a free in here. Both players seem to go to play the ball. Paul Delaney knocks the ball away cleanly, and a very harsh decision.
Tony O'Sullivan takes the gift chance nonetheless, puts it over the bar for his second pointed free.
Limerick came to Páirc Uí Chaoimh for the Munster final.
Pat Buckley, it was a major success against Tipperary. We hit him in the second half, but right half forward onto Shawnee McCarthy, his midfield. Parker puts it over the bar, and Cork take the lead for the first time. McCarthy having perhaps a point to prove. He was substituted for Buckley in that Tipperary match. Tommy Quaid. Ball runs on neatly for Gary Kirby. Kirby has put it over. A second point for Gary Kirby, tying up the match. Up to Declan Nash, blocked by Cashman brilliantly. Nash breaks his stick, goes on to Cathal Casey. Casey looking for another point for Cork. It's a really fascinating match. It's 4 points to 3, and wing-back Cathal Casey is able to come forward to strike that one over. Possession here now vital for Limerick. They've got to try and maintain the pressure. They do so with Carmody, who's in the clear. There's a goal chance for Carmody. Snapped on the line by Jared Cunningham, despite the attention of Shane Fitzgibbon. It's a great save. It was a great chance for Anthony Carmody. The kind of goal that this Limerick team needed. 3 Corkmen, one of them Tony O'Sullivan picking it up. Lobbed forward towards John Fitzgibbon, there against Brian Finn. Breaks back out, whipped away by Houlihan. Tremendous hurling. Out to rail. Wrong side of Gary Kirby, however, and the only man there is Jim Cashman. Cashman, midway through this first half, down towards Kevin Hennessy. In there with Tomas Mulcahy, without the stick. Has to kick. He's kicked it in.
Caught the ball and threw it up in one hand and caught it in the other hand before I kicked it into the net past Tommy Quaid, who was in goal with Limerick at the time, and I kind of remember coming out after that, and I was grabbed by the RTE cameraman to sit in for an interview, and he immediately showed me a replay of that goal. He said, you know, that goal should be disallowed, and I said, of course it should be disallowed. I said, but what do you want me to do?
Meanwhile, it's Egan again, the nephew of Paddy Barry, the former Cork goalkeeper. And he's put it over the bar once again. It's all happening for the Cork forward line. That's the second point for the Delaney's man, based in Dublin Hill. Dennis Welch. A fresh challenge in the second half. That's Mike Galligan, who's moved out into the half-forward line. And for those who felt that Mike Galligan might be at his very best, located around left corner forward, that's Tony O'Sullivan. Cross towards Barry Egan's wing. Being marshalled over there by Mike Houlihan. The decision goes with Cork.
Again, Limerick's touch seems to be letting them down at all the important times. They're trying to pick up the ball a lot in the middle of the field. There's a lot of scrambling, and the delivery into their forward line is very slow as a result. And again, you see Barry Egan putting pressure on the Limerick defence there and winning a vital sideline ball. And the way Cathal Casey cuts these in, you won't be far away from a score again, probably.
For a Cork side this afternoon seeking a 45th provincial victory. That's Casey. Classical style again by Casey. That's his second sideline point of the afternoon. 3 points in all for the St. Catherine's man, a clubmate of Dennis Welch.
From early morning they'd be passing up by my pub. Say from 6 o'clock in the morning you'd see cars passing up there, and it would be just non-stop. The array of colour that they have on a day out is just unbelievable, and they appreciate hurlers down in Cork, and they've always supported me so well. It is unbelievable. I indebted to Cork people for supporting the pub, really.
Cork met their old rivals Kilkenny in the 1992 final. Cork had lost each of their last 2 meetings.
Cork out going into the half-back line. Bill Hennessy back there to augment the trio. Out to
Interesting to see what Kilkenny do there. Will they go for a goal playing against the breeze? They're only 3 points down, and you wonder what they're going to do at this stage.
I think Jeremy's a bit concerned about the ball being perhaps too dry.
I think he was concerned about the ball being trying to grab a goal, Jerry, a pressure ball.
Happened once or twice before, Jerry.
I think it did.
Alright, well, this isn't the Munster final of several years ago. This is DJ Derry at a significant stage in the match coming up to hit the penalty. Appreciating now that Cork a giant-sized task on their hands.